Of course, these 10 SMART strategies for handling toxic individuals are based on the teachings of Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic philosophy. Seek wisdom. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius highlighted that obtaining wisdom is essential to leading a happy life. In his well-known book, Meditations, he often considers the value of using wisdom as a compass. Marcus Aurelius defined wisdom as applying moral insight and logical reasoning to face life's obstacles with clarity and virtue, rather than just acquiring knowledge. He held that real wisdom is found in accepting what cannot be altered, realizing the nature of reality, and concentrating on the things that we can influence. Marcus Aurelius believed that developing knowledge required self-awareness, reflection, and a dedication to live by the precepts of the Stoics. We may build resilience, foster inner serenity, and lead a more peaceful life by consistently pursuing wisdom. Establish limits. Drawing on Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the value of establishing boundaries to protect one's moral integrity and inner peace. He considers in his Meditations the need to defend the mental fortress from outside forces that can jeopardize its tranquility. He counsels us to set firm limits in our dealings with others as well as in our physical environment, much like a watchful sentinel. Marcus views borders as fortresses built out of wisdom and self-respect rather than as walls constructed out of mistrust or terror. By drawing boundaries between what is and is not acceptable, we uphold our dignity in the face of toxicity and declare our independence. Marcus urges us to use reason and virtue to guide us in knowing when to engage and when to retreat. By establishing limits, we preserve the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature, unaffected by the whims of outside forces, and respect our inner sovereignty. Keep your emotions at bay. Keeping emotional distance is a Stoic philosophy idea that is reflected in Marcus Aurelius' teachings. It is about developing inner peace and calm in the face of chaos outside. In his Meditations, Marcus considers how crucial it is to cultivate apatheia, the Stoic virtue of emotional detachment, to face life's obstacles with calmness and clarity. He recognizes that although we may not always be in control of the situations we find ourselves in or the things that other people do, we do have control over the way we feel inside. To view events objectively and react wisely rather than rashly, Marcus exhorts us to develop an inner serenity that transcends outside disruptions. We keep our reasoning faculties sovereign and protect ourselves from the influence of transient passions by keeping an emotional distance. By doing this, we take on the Stoic virtue of self-mastery, demonstrating calm in the face of turmoil and tenacity in the face of misfortune. Assertive dialogue. As viewed through the prism of Stoicism and Marcus Aurelius' teachings, assertive communication emphasizes striking a balance between expressing oneself honestly and upholding the dignity of others. Marcus stresses in his writings the value of presenting the truth in a morally upright manner while being led by virtue and reason. To promote cooperation and understanding, he exhorts people to speak assertively without being hostile or violent. According to Marcus, being assertive is about standing up for one's wants and beliefs in a way that respects others, not about controlling people or forcing one's will. He counsels us to choose our words carefully and to temper candor with kindness and empathy, drawing on the ideas of the Stoics. Assertive communication is a way to live out Stoic ethics by respecting others' intrinsic worth and autonomy while simultaneously upholding our own beliefs. Rise beyond their actions. According to Marcus Aurelius and Stoic philosophy, rising above other people's actions is being true to your moral principles and inner serenity even when you are provoked by the outside world. Marcus considers the Stoic ideal of apatheia in his Meditations, which is the calm and composure attained by reasoned self-control. He counsels people to develop an outlook that sees past small disputes and interpersonal strife, realizing that other people's actions frequently reflect their inner issues rather than being an indictment of their value. Marcus exhorts us to face hardship with dignity and generosity rather than allowing ourselves to become entangled in the web of hatred and negativity. We represent knowledge, courage, and self-control, the Stoic virtues, by rising above the actions of others. We demonstrate the Stoic qualities of wisdom, courage, and self-control by rising above the actions of others. We also represent resiliency in the face of difficulty and unwavering in our dedication to moral greatness. Turn hardship into opportunity. Marcus Aurelius defended the Stoic philosophy's central tenet, turning misfortune into opportunity. In his reflections, he urges people to see setbacks as opportunities for personal development and advancement rather than as insurmountable roadblocks. According to Marcus, misfortune acts as a furnace where qualities are refined and character is formed. He exhorts us to face setbacks head-on, realizing that they present priceless teaching moments and chances for personal growth can transcend the constraints of our circumstances and build an empowered and resilient mindset by reinterpreting hardship as a catalyst for personal progress. Marcus draws on Stoic teachings to remind us that how we handle hardship ultimately dictates how it affects our lives. He exhorts us to use every setback as an opportunity to develop moral greatness, bravery, and knowledge. Exercise empathy. In the context of Marcus Aurelius' Stoic philosophy, practicing empathy is developing a profound comprehension of other people's experiences and viewpoints while upholding moral purity and inner peace. Marcus considers the interdependence of all people and the value of compassion in promoting peaceful relationships in his meditations. He encourages individuals to empathize with the challenges and suffering of others, understanding that all human beings share a shared sensitivity to the vicissitudes of life. For Marcus, empathy is not a sign of weakness but an expression of moral power and wisdom, a bridge that connects us to our fellow travelers on the journey of life. By engaging in empathy practices, we develop a spirit of unity and respect for one another, going beyond the confines of self-interest to see the intrinsic value and dignity of every person. Marcus tells us, drawing on the ideas of the Stoics, that genuine empathy springs from a state of inner calm and composure, allowing us to react to the suffering of others with love and compassion even amid hardship. Pick your battles carefully. According to Marcus Aurelius and the principles of Stoic philosophy, choosing your battles properly entails deciding where to focus your time, effort, and attention to achieve both maximum gain and moral integrity. Marcus considers the value of caution and thoughtful consideration while deciding which disputes are worthwhile becoming involved in during his meditations. He counsels people to put more importance on issues that are consistent with their principles and advance their general well-being as opposed to getting sucked into pointless or small arguments. Marcus believes that picking your battles carefully is a show of strength and self-control, acknowledging that not all disputes are worth the effort and expense of involvement. We conserve resources and maintain inner tranquility by using wisdom and foresight, concentrating our energies on endeavors that uphold virtue and further the common good. Marcus draws on Stoic ideas to remind us that true victory comes from mastering oneself, becoming resilient and morally superior in the face of difficulty, rather than from defeating our enemies. Concentrate on the things you can control. One of the main tenets of Stoic philosophy, as demonstrated by Marcus Aurelius, is to focus on what you can control. This emphasizes the significance of focusing our attention and efforts on parts of life that we can influence. Marcus considers the limitations of human action and the pointlessness of dwelling on things outside of our control in his meditations. He counsels people to have a peaceful, accepting attitude, focusing our energies on areas where we can truly make a difference and accepting with grace the things that cannot be altered. Marcus argues that concentrating on our controllables is a liberating act rather than a sign of surrender, since it acknowledges that our true power comes from controlling our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors rather than trying to influence outside forces. By adopting this Stoic idea, we recover control over our lives and discover inner freedom, which gives us confident strength. Marcus tells us, drawing on the wisdom of the Stoics, that although we might not be able to control the winds of fate, we can always trim our sails and navigate the currents of life with moral integrity, knowledge, and perseverance. Look for assistance. In the context of Stoicism and Marcus Aurelius's wisdom, seeking support entails appreciating the importance of social ties as well as taking courage from the empathy and collective knowledge of others. Marcus considers the interconnectedness of people and the value of helping one another get through difficult times in life in his meditations. He understands that no one is an island unto oneself, and that asking for help from mentors and dependable allies is a show of strength, rather than a sign of weakness. According to Marcus, asking for help is not just about finding comfort in trying times, but also about building a sense of belonging and solidarity where people encourage and support one another as they strive toward moral greatness. By really asking for advice and support from others, we confess our frailty and reaffirm our dedication to lifelong learning and personal development. Marcus uses the ideas of the Stoics to remind us that genuine strength is found not in solitude but rather in the ties of camaraderie and support from one another, where we can find comfort, insight, and motivation to endure hardships.